potential.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Thank you, Doris. Actually doing quite well this morning. Thanks for asking. Excellent, Adam. Yeah, good for you. Make sure you do actually, one of the things I always do is test it every morning before I start my session to make sure copies, especially if you're having either multiple accounts or crossing over from the minis to the micros, just make sure that everything copies the way it needs to. Just extra confirmation to make sure everything works right, so you don't have any, well, you try to minimize technical issues, right?
Good morning.
Good morning,
I am
Lori.
so glad you got on the mic, Ron, because I forgot. I mean, I lost track of time, and then all of a sudden I hear your voice. I'm chasing the cat around to get him in this cage. Oh my gosh. What a zoo.
I was just going to say, everybody look sharp. Queen's approaching.
Yeah, right. not enough hours in a day. I am thoroughly convinced of that.
Well, Vegas, funny you ask. And Laura, you ready for some good news?
Yeah.
I took a CL trade this morning that lost.
And that's good news. How?
I took a trade. I don't know.
That bites. Yeah, I don't like CO, but that's me.
It's okay. We just wait for the next one. Vegas, the only thing I saw that jumped out at me is to keep an eye on the... I made a note of it where to go. 11... I think it was a low. 1 second. Between 11,470 and 11,480 range. I want to say like 11,475. Yep, 11,475.
Let's stop it. $4.75 has a mini magnet on a 30 tick in the middle of nowhere, and a couple of longer ice nodes. Love it. In the middle of nowhere, then that is really powerful. Okay, so we are out of dark zone. RTY. With sun moving, that little lots and lots of news at 10. I would expect it's just going to be a little rangy until then. And it will. It might run one way or the other, and the other way at in the news time. Who knows?
Robert, the first CL trade was at 9:29:11.
Lorex off this YMZOI, just we're right above it. I would love it to go down there and give us the Lorex.
And then Robert, I jumped into a CL trade at 9:39:01, which won and got a runner. And it set up another one at 9:41:22, which I didn't take because I was already in a long. So CL actually put in three trades this morning so far. Vegas, the CL market starts trading at 8:30. So no, it wasn't in the dark zone.
IM is trying to put in that Lorex that I wanted. Okay, if this Lorex YM, if it closes long and holds everything, I want this one. Oh, and we got news in a minute. Ugh. Oh, impact, but you never know. Oh. It may not have had a TX on the 30. What I liked was the mini magnet on the ZOI and everything else. That mini magnet on the ZOI was, I really didn't care if there was one on the 30 or not. But it never, the news. kind of impacted it quite a bit there. I have a lot of news at 10. Heads up. call that NQ long, and it jumped 4 bars in, what, a tenth of a second? That heads up, CJ. Yeah, Corey, I'm not calling anything this close to big news. No, sorry. Saw that TX on RTY, and I wouldn't take it, so I wouldn't call it. It worked out, but there was not enough room for me comfortably between the entry on RTY and that ZOI. So yeah, I don't call what I wouldn't take.
Just for fun, remember the zone I was talking about, guys, on NQ? See what happens when the news hit. I think it's just going to, like, shoot right down to that level. Yeah, it was 11,474, I think it was 11,474, 75, something like that. What did I say, guys? It's funny.
YM is looking really good. It went way too fast. Tried to get in, tried to call it, nothing. On YM, you may not have a signal. And an 0853. Yep. Didn't either, but I called it anyway. Well, I tried to call it anyway. 90853 YM. Oh, I do. Full, just about a full Lorex. It's missing one part, which is why it did not show what was a trade. Okay, YM short. If this closes short and holds everything. And it won. There you go. Actually, it was a small one. Woohoo. I expect this to retrace and go back to, the mini magnet at 3273, 32,673. Sorry. Does it? Go, got it. Woohoo. Even better. Thank you, YM. Okay. It should not have lost because your stop should have been above the red ice on that one. So it never went above that. You should not have lost that no matter where you got it. That was 100% win. I don't really want to say what I did. I actually added contracts and it came back down. So yeah, I'm done for the day. That was really nice. My kind of trading in 30 seconds out. Very clear to me that it really, barring some crazy tweet or news, it was going that direction. So yeah. Find another one. I called my target. It was 32,673. I almost called that long then right after it hit down there and went past that 673 and set up pretty darn nice to go long. I almost called it, but I thought, nah, I better be a little more sure of it. me, that was in your face for a good, nice run. Hush, Scarlett. Works on R2Y, and YM is also working on one. Okay, R2Y did not form. I even want to know what you took, Jeff. Aiming at you before I take anything. Wow, NQ, that's moving so fast I can't even call your attention to it. Let's see. NQ at 10/19/38 was an SLZ and sort of a Lorex. It had some of the parts of a Lorex, and it sure didn't go very far in the direction against the trend. That tells me with a really strong setup and it could barely make profit, yeah, I'm not going against this trend. Observation there. And it went crazy up anyway. I go up, give us a Lorex with a cluster on that ZOI. Work. RTY going long if it holds everything. Kind of pretty. Heading up the other direction, but that went away. Well, it hold everything on the RTY, so never mind. Catch that, cancel the RTY if you were getting ready to get in long. It did not hold everything. RTY ever gets down to settlement, look out. That is going to be Chop City. Look at all of those institutional blocks orders on the 30-tick RTY. Wow. Right near settlement. It's going to be a mess if it gets down there. Yeah, into are nearly impossible. I've seen a couple really, really nice ones, and I couldn't even come close to getting into them, let alone call them. Those are the ones that are dangerous because they're so fast. There's a really good chance the copier will not be able to copy it because it's just too fast and there's not orders on the other side. It's the market, it's not the copier. Settled down a little, just not today so far. Careful with if you're copying stuff on the NQ10 tick. Yeah, be real choosy on what you try to get into because there's a really high chance that it's moving too fast to get your copied orders in, and then when they take profit, they may put out fresh orders that you didn't plan on. That is strictly market conditions. That's nothing to do with the copier. That is just, it's too fast. Unfortunately, meaning it copied a losing trade and you multiplied it. That bites. Okay, NQ's trying to put in an SLZ and a Lorex. No, it took the Lorex out. Never mind. OYM is setting up pretty if it holds everything and closes down. IM at 32,708. If it holds everything and closes down, it's not going to do it though. Yep, just went by. Trying again, but I don't like it quite as much. YM Lorex did not have exhaustion X or cluster, so I would not have touched that one. Worked out, but it was definitely not the best of the best. The cluster on the bar before, that is sometimes okay. If everything else, if that's the only thing it's missing and it had it on the bar before, I'll go with that. But, yeah, it didn't have that. So it had 2 bars before, and 3 bars before. But, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. It worked out well, but, yeah, I'll skip it. No problem. I'll wait for the good ones. It had absorption X on the bar before also, but I really want it all stacked on 1 bar. And I was watching to see if it was going to be a power play. What is it? 1, I think, where it goes higher on less, but yeah, that didn't happen either. So, yeah, just didn't have anything I liked quite enough to take it or call it. Yeah, Jeff, you better go away. You don't want to do something. Yeah, power play is a specific setup. Sorry, wasn't watching. Yeah, that was. Did we have order prints when we were doing power plays? Well, I don't even remember. It just shows you how powerful they are if they still work. Yeah, you may have to, Marion, would she know if we had prints when we were doing power plays? I don't know. I think you might have to ask to have permission to those. They kind of put those away so people don't get distracted, which is a good idea. Because really, we've kind of folded the theory of those into Sniper. So it's not something you need to go chasing down. I would not recommend. Focus on what you can do It was before IZSS. Yes, it definitely was. And it's all rolled into the what we do now. So don't sweat it. Focus on getting better with sniper. That is your that's got everything rolled into it. That's what you need to. You get that down, and you're going to have it down. Exactly, Greg. I mean, power plays were an enhanced version of C's, and now this is like head on steroids. So yeah, it's nothing new. It's just building on it and keep on going. Pretty much. Was that YMTBS any good? It had ODD. How can it? You don't really look at ODD on a TBS, and I would not. I really wouldn't touch it as a TBS. YM because look at the reversal bar. It was nothing special, so the TBS you kind of ignore on the 10 tick. It wasn't on the 30 tick. It was just, if you would have been in off the reversal, would have been a great confirmation, but it was not. So, yeah, no. Yeah, stuff builds as time goes by. We don't just ditch it. It's great. I mean, it's basically how I've been trading for 8 years. It works. Because you've been really quiet for a long time. Good to see you popping in. Say RTY potential, but I didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and it did not hold. So heard Ron for a while. Sometimes it'll say sometimes .com messes up a little bit, and it'll say somebody's speaking when they're not. Ron, are you there? Have you said something we didn't hear?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Except for the stuff that's in my head. But no.
I liked this YM. Dang, it's going against the trend strongly. Maybe an elevator in YM. Would be 601. Come on, bring it down. Nope, that didn't work either. I know, that's what it said, R2Y. If it gets down into that place near settlement, it's going to be extremely choppy. I wouldn't touch anything in here because it's choppy on the 30 tick, which means maybe you could get your scalp, but yeah, I wouldn't want it. RTY is not something I want to play with right now. So that makes the intra-bar scalps a little bit better because I expect it to be a little choppier. And it looks like it'll probably go through settlement. Just short of settlement on RTY, so it looks like we had a setup. Let's bounce off this pink wall, RTY, then go back down to settlement. That would be really sweet. Are going to go up a little more. You're not going to leave that mini magnet. It did. Don't have an entry. Nice. Thanks a lot, RTY. Now you could go up to that ZOI and lay a cluster on it and give us a short to go down to settlement. Probably going past settlement. It may not go far, but it's probably going to go through it. It should not bounce off it. We're in a really choppy area, so yeah, just yuck. That is when it tells us what it's going to do. The 1041.32 bar on RTY stopped just short of settlement. It retraced a good amount. So the next time it gets there pretty close, it's probably going through. No, because of all the 30 tick institutional orders there, all those red and green stripes running across the chart, we know, they're all spread apart, we know it's very likely to be choppy in this area, let alone the fact that it's settlement. It's going to be a mess. Real easy RTY read there. A Lorex right here. You put the mini magnet in. Down, I would expect a short here. Our read there from 4.7 down to 3.7. Come on. Oh, it hit it. Okay. Cool beans. Oh, not pretty right in here, RTY and YM. boring trade partner here on my desk. Yeah, that SLZ on RTY was pretty because it laid the second half of the crash on the setup, but it didn't. I love those, don't get me wrong, but it really didn't have anything else good about it. I just didn't care for it. Love to see at least the cluster on the reversal be at the crash, something. I mean, it barely won. It had a little room to wiggle, to spare, but. Why 5 and 3 mini magnet on both ends. Ugh, talk about indecision. Yeah, no special sauce. I don't see anything. Just looks choppy and icky to me in here. I don't like anything myself. It's got to set up like extraordinary for me.
Well, Lori, it looks like I'm going to actually call it early today. Hit my max loss.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been one of those days. I'm actually 3 and 3, but just couldn't recover, so.
That sucks. Let me guess, it was NQ.
No, actually, it wasn't. It was CL had a losing trade for me. YM had two losing trades for me.
Well,
yeah.
tomorrow's a new day.
That's it. But that's the thing, you hit max loss and then you're done. So I'm gonna stay in the room. I'm just gonna journal all my stuff and.
Oh yeah, whoever said, somebody said early on, Lori, you're not calling trades yet. Now you know why. I'm being really, really picky. I'm not saying those, Ron only takes valid good setups, so I have no doubt they were all valid, but I don't like what I see today as a general rule.
Yeah, the only trade I probably should have not gotten into was the YM that you had actually talked about that was going against a heavy downtrend. But the YM before that was a great setup and it lost. And the CL trades were, the one that lost was really good. And there was also one that won, and that was really good too. So, but it happens. Come back and do it again tomorrow.
Yep, exactly.
The YM trades.
Thank you for being transparent.
Oh no, I mean it's I bleed red just like everybody else.
That really helps people because they see, yeah, you are very, very good about only taking valid setups, and they have to meet your criteria or you skip them. So personally, I have no doubt that's what you did, but it was just one of those days where they didn't work.
Yep, it just happens.
Yep.
Shanique, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The YM trades were, one was at 9:39, 27-ish. And the other one was at 10:11:02 and 10:40:57. And those I'm looking just at the entry times. I don't have the exact bar. I'm just looking at a different screen that actually has the entry times of my trades. But if you want, I'll go back and hold on. I'll tell you exactly. So the first YM, what do we say? 9:39:27. So that would make it 9:39:26 bar. Yeah, Greg, I see that, and actually, I'm actually thinking about extending my dark zone to either 9:40 or 9:45. I'm still testing that, but we'll see. Kevin, to answer your question, if I gave you an answer, it wouldn't make sense, and the reason being is because it's part of a plan. So it's an overall plan. So if I just gave you the trade count or the dollar amount, it wouldn't make any sense, because the way I have it, it's an entire trade plan that encompasses markets, trades. I mean, there's so many different things. But basically, the way I started was with the net 3. And then I just kind of developed and tested things that went from there. Shanique, to go back to continue answering your question, I got sidetracked for a second. The other YM was at 10:11. Tell you exactly. $10:11:02 bar. And then the other one was the one that we talked about that was against the heavy downtrend at 10:40:56. The 10:11 bar. No, the runner didn't lose. The runner broke even. So that was a winning trade. The 10:11 bar, trade, that was a winning trade. Shanique, when I get into a trade, if it's a winner, in other words, if the first target comes off, it's never a losing trade, because I always move my runner to break even after my first target comes off. So I basically, at worst case scenario, I break even on the runner. Well, enough to cover commissions anyway. So that's the way I do it. That's what I've tested, and that's what over the long haul works best for me versus doing it any other way. No, the 1011 was a winner, and then the 1040 was a loser. So the 939 was a loser, the 1011 was a winner, and the 1040 was a loser. Yeah, Vegas, for me, I kind of look at the runners like icing on the cake. It's in case that the market does run. I don't count on it. So it's just a bonus if you know the market decides to run. Yeah, Vegas, that's how I have it. I have it +2. So my runner goes to +2 after the first target's hit. Robert, that's something you have to test. See what works best for you. Again, it's part of the trade plan. So for me, what works best is when I trade 2 contracts, I have one and then a runner. And then over time, the runners beat out the time that they actually would have taken profit if I just scalped the 2 targets. The 2 contracts, sorry. Murray, what do you mean on simplicity? Do I do what? Have that same ATM strategy? No. Yeah, no. Simplicity is its own animal. It's completely different. Once I'm in the trade in simplicity and I have my targets set, 90 to 95% of the time I follow simplicity rules on the trail. Unless I see something different in the market. Once I broke my entry, in other words, I'm actually in profit, then I'll move my stop, but I'll never move it beyond. Like I won't move the stop backwards. Let's put it that way. Sure, give me a second. Here you go, Grant. Again, Grant, use it at your own risk. If it doesn't work for you, I don't hold me liable. Oh, you want the trailer too, Grant? Hold on. Yeah, Grant, I know. You want it all. No problem, anytime. Murray, yeah, that's for sniper, or I use that for the Lorexes. So yeah, I don't trade sniper anymore. I strictly trade the Lorex now. But yeah, same thing. So I used that ATM when I was trading Lorex. I mean sniper. Sorry. Hey Benjamin, to answer your question, um, we're looking at just one trade. What you need to do is you have to go back and run it through like 100 trades and see when that setup shows up in that scenario, how does it do? So even though it looks like it won here, how would it have done 99 other trades? So for me, no, I wouldn't consider it because I've tested what I'm using now as to the highest probability trade that I have come up with. So that's what I stick with. I try not to get too caught up on one individual trade to set up a trade plan. It doesn't end well. That's the only thing I can say is once you have your setup established and that's your plan, you stick to it and you don't look for anything. Well, maybe I should have taken this or I should have taken that. That's I think, a recipe for disaster.
Compromise.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping, Laura, you'd jump in here and kind of bail me out of my little drowning ship.
No, you're doing great. There's nothing I can add. I don't want to feel like I'm or seem like I'm butting in and taking over. You are doing fantastic. You wait for your setups and you do not compromise. I mean, it's interesting today that, this morning kind of earlier, somebody said, well, you're not calling them. Well, I don't see any I would take. And there was that one YM that we talked about that it looked pretty, but it wasn't quite. I think Grant called it out, and he said he took it, and I'm like, yep, it's not good enough for me. Even though it won, I want the best of the best. So I'm going to wait, and I'm not going to take something that, well, yeah, it might win. It's got a little bit of an edge. Heck no, I want a sharp edge. I want it to cut right through and profit. I mean, so that's what I wait for. And, you are like so strict on your setups. I love it. And if they just didn't work today, you took the same setups you always take, no compromise. You have nothing to feel bad about. I mean, yeah, nobody likes to have a losing day, but you still traded well. Overall, that is the goal. Trading well will make you money in the long run. Do you have some bad days? Heck yeah, they happen.
And then just to add to that is, even though it's a losing day, not to get caught up into, I'll just take one more because, I know that I'll make it up on the next one. No, you can't. And even though I know, and I've tested this over time, over and over again, where the probability is, ranges anywhere between 75 to 85% win rate, it doesn't matter. If I hit my max loss, I'm done. And I'll make it up tomorrow or the next day or what have you. So yeah, the rules are the rules. I mean, they're there for a reason. At least for me anyway. And I learned this very quickly, I should say, and the hard way. So Dash, I don't understand the question. What do you mean?
Where do you post these to? He's asking. He needs the link for where you post everything to, the recordings.
Oh, yeah, I think CJ just posted it.
Yeah, you take one more and the spiral down begins. Exactly.
Yeah, and then if you have a tendency to revenge trade, well, then that's just a double recipe for disaster. Dash CJ just posted the link. Dozy, it's a combination of both. Or a variation of, I should say. So it's either a combination or a variation.
Um, I'm sure he has not seen your question, Ron, but the latest RTY at 11/17/56, it does not have a mini magnet or a paw, which is what he requires. So, nope, it wouldn't meet his criteria. It is a big ZOI.
Yeah, Richard, that's true. That's kind of by design. What if it goes just to before it hits my target, and I don't have enough time to close the trade out? So at least I don't lose, I break even. If it turns around and goes the other direction. Now come on, Richard. You know if you're going to do anything in sim, you're going to treat it like if it's live, right? So you don't want to force the trade. You want to just, you know, if you're gonna test the ATM, test it like if it was a live trade. It'll help you work on your patience too, trust me. Well, Lewis, remember, we're basically technical traders. We're not fundamental traders. So the news or whether the market goes up or down, it's really irrelevant. We use the news times to stay out just because the market can go crazy, and we don't want to set up to kick in when there's a lot of potential indecision. But like I said, there was only one trade that I took today that if I was to look back and do an addition of a Lori analytics, I would have stayed out of it because it was such a strong downtrend. And the setup that I got went against it. But again, the setup is the setup, so you take it. Because if that trade would have won, we wouldn't even be talking about it right now, right? We would have said, oh, we took it even though it went against the downtrend. It's like the rules are the rules.
Setups at a choppy market. I like the intra-bar scalps, but they haven't really been taught. So
Yeah, Dash. There's actually, I mean, I can say it's a very easy answer, but it's really, I mean, if you think about it, it's pretty deep, and you have to look into yourself. But it's a very easy fix. You just need to wake up one morning, and this is something that Daryl talks about. And I believe, I think it's in Mind Mastery, where you just, either Mind Mastery or Thrive. I think it was Mind Mastery. You wake up in the morning one day and you say, okay, you're sick and tired, and you got that gut feeling where you're just sick and tired of having X happen, and fill in the blank for whatever X is. And if it's revenge trading because you're blowing 10 accounts or whatever it is, so when you're tired of having that happen, and you say, today I'm making a change, and you're going to stick to it no matter what, and that's followed up by you waking up every morning looking in the mirror saying, hey, you're going to hire yourself today, you're going to fire yourself today as a professional trader. And you start working on your discipline, and the rest, fill in the blanks.
I love that, Megan. I've had a lot of people say that they trade like they have to explain every single trade to me, and yeah, that doesn't get pleasant if you're making a lot of stupid mistakes.
Well, how do you think I feel?
Well, I have to say, has that helped you stay disciplined and on track? I mean, you make up your mind and you're just going to do it. That's your personality. I love it. But in all honesty, being in this room and having 200 people paying attention to what you're doing, yeah, that helps tremendously.
Oh, absolutely, because I actually feel a sense of responsibility to everyone in here.
Yep. So it's actually pushing you into discipline a lot faster than people that are sitting out there accountable to no one. It's really a big plus. You don't realize at the time you're like, yeah, I don't like this pressure. I don't want to do this. Yep. It makes you stay disciplined and yeah, faster, much faster.
Well, I mean, you personally, Lori, have seen the transformation in me since I'm going to call it my crash, which, stands months before I ever got into the ER. So, and just being in here just kind of solidifies everything. It just really reinforces the core foundation for me. And yeah, I mean, it's again, I'm grateful and thankful every single day that I can be in here with you guys. Wow, Jeff, that's really nice, and I don't know what to say. That's a good setup on RTY. If I was still trading, I'd take it.
Oh, dang, I missed that one. Yeah, I really like that one because, oh, geez, my apologies. I totally missed that one. I was distracted. A DTX, that was pretty much almost a Lorex on the first one, and the second one is a full-on Lorex. Ooh, I like that. Magnet or a
Yeah, I mean,
saw, but it did have a DTX, which in my mind makes up for it for my requirements. So I'm okay with that.
you could potentially target settlement, or at the very least, maybe 1853.3 or 1855.3. Sorry.
Ultimately, I would look for 1851.6.
Oh, way down there.
But it's going to have a lot of issues when it hits 1854. That would be the first stop, I would say. Oh yeah, this baby's going down intrabar scalp here if you're not already in. That would be 1854, and then down to 51.6.
Hey, Lori, you got the patience to be in it this long?
No. I'd have to probably stop at 54. Minute in sim because I hit my goal already, so I'm being good, but I do have a take profit set at 1854. All right out of bed, RTY. That mini magnet at 1856 is that it's going to take it out. No way is it going to leave it in there. But if you look left, you see a really choppy area in here, so yeah, it might be awful to get there, which really bites in my opinion, but it had a lot of old clusters if you look left, and it is just not a pretty area, very choppy, but very likely to hit target. So got the mini magnet. Well, we just added another one, but come on, get in there. One. Come on, get down there. Any of you don't talk to your charts. I don't believe you. There we go. Thank you. Okay, we hit target. Now tell me that trade was not worth waiting for.
So I do have to throw something in here, Lori, just as a thought. That was like the perfect setup for me. And
Because
even
it had no mini magnet or paw.
right. Well, no. This one did. This one had it.
It?
Yeah, this one had a paw.
3204 on RTY.
What did it have? 3204. It had. Hold on a second. It had something. It had.
Not. No mini magnet. Well, it did have a mini magnet.
It had a mini magnet.
It did.
And it also had a mini
I
magnet
didn't
on the
notice that.
30.
It was exactly on the other one. Okay. Oopsie. Sorry. My bad.
So it had pretty much everything I could possibly want. But I was
it had
done.
a kitchen sink thrown in there.
Yep. But I was done. Remember, guys, I was done. I called it quits. And I watched this thing go, and I was like, not only did it go, but it also ran for what I usually have a set hard take profit for the trailer. And that won too. So that trade could have potentially put me even for the day. But I don't care about that. And that's the part that I wanted to kind of send home. Is a lot of times we get into the fear of missing out kind of a thing. But we're done. And
I bet you recognize the trade. So
yeah.
You now can take that with you, and it'll happen again at some point. I mean, what I liked about it, it was like a DTX, and the first one was almost a Lorex, and then it had everything. It had absolutely everything. I loved it. The only thing it was missing was a ZOI, an existing ZOI for that cluster to be on, but there was the mini magnet on the 30 tick, a paw on the 10, an existing mini magnet on the 10. There was like everything there, and it went almost right to target. I'm a little bit ticked I didn't have that in live, but I followed my rules, and I'm happy. So.
Yeah, I guess what I was trying to say, Lori, is that I know that in my trade plan, I'm sitting at between a 75 to 85% win rate. So I know that there's a lot of winners and there are some losers. But if I happen to get into the losing end of things early on, the winners I know will come, but I'm just going to wait for them to come in the streak as opposed to getting caught in a losing streak. Because this trade could have easily lost. I mean, we saw it, obviously we saw it building. We knew it wasn't going to lose, but, well, probability speaking, it wasn't going to lose. Just because of the way the bars were forming. But it could have easily lost just because it took a little bit of heat there for 2 bars, or actually a bar. I guess the bottom line is I'm not too disappointed that I didn't take it because I knew I'm following my rules. Actually, guys, now that I look at it, that trade would have actually broken even on both contracts. So, because the stop moved once it hit 9 ticks to break even. So,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, Seth. The only reason we're even talking about it for my situation, or we're analyzing it, is just because it's there. But under normal circumstances, when I done training for the day, I could care less what happens afterwards. I don't even look at it. I don't want to get into
Me too.
analyzing stuff and woulda, shoulda, coulda, and I don't need all that extra stuff floating around in my head. So
Exactly how I feel.
it's fun and it's okay to talk about it in here because maybe somebody will learn something from it. But for me, as a rule, once I'm done, that's it. Because it's never fun staring at this.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, no. I just posted something, Lori, so you'll see what I'm talking about.
Thank you so much for being transparent. That's what everybody needs. And it's actually, it helps you more than anyone.
Yeah, no, for sure. And guys, I have to tell you, this kind of day happens maybe once every 10 of my trading days. So if all the other 9 days are in the green, this is okay, right? It's part of the process. So when we're running our business, a lot of days we make money and 1 or 2 days we lose a little bit. It's part of, I don't know, call it operational cost or whatever. Yeah, Seth, I'm with you. I'm on the West Coast too, and I also have a full-time job. I run a construction company, and I'm up in front of my computer at 5 a.m. my time. So it's all about what you're willing to sacrifice, right? So part of the discipline. Yeah, Seth, I don't know how old you are, but I'm sure you and I are probably around the same age. So,
Yeah, Seth is a baby.
oh man, you 33. You got nothing.
I wasn't kidding. He's a baby.
Okay, so full disclosure, guys, I'm 55 years old and I've got an 18-month-old baby. So we want to throw some things in the mix, and I've been working on like 2 hours sleep for like the last 3 weeks. Well, I try to keep young. That's why I have a treadmill underneath my feet right now. So,
Boy, could I do that.
which is actually surprising that you guys can't even hear it. But I guess this mic works really well. So,
I walk and talk at the same time.
yeah, the problem when I get tripped up is if I try to chew gum. Then it becomes a problem. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this name correctly. Is it Ranjan? Is that correct? If you're talking about the NQ30, that's the simplicity chart.
Yes, is there a course on that? Definitely.
Yep. I think you have to be a gold member to get it, right, Lori?
So, one thing, that trade that, well, I got in late on a intra-bar scalp that I held on to. But that trade that I called a little bit late, I guess, and it went right to target. After that, I don't particularly look for another one right away because it went a long way, so I don't expect, unless it's very volatile, then sometimes it can have pretty big swings. But I mean, it is, did put a nice trade in after that. But yeah, I'm not touching it for a while. Just kind of calling attention to that.
Ranjan, if you look at, since you're on trial, if you look on the room charts, you'll see there is a 30-second chart. It's actually the simplicity chart. But yeah, we don't really trade a 30-second bar chart.
Nothing special. I'll pass.
Jeff, I don't touch it until after the first target comes off, and then depends on the market and what I see. I sometimes opt to move the stop for the runner, but initially I don't touch it. I'll let it run to the target, and then on the stop, it depends on what happens. Like, let's say, for example, because I watch the OP bar very closely when I'm in the trade. And if I see that it has a potential to turn around based on the numbers that it shows, then I'll tighten up the stop. Just so I don't have to give anything away. Yeah, Jeff, just use it as a guide, and make it your own. Hey Jeff, are you using a trade copier? I'm thinking of my follow-up question, Jeff, so hold on a second. I'm trying to work it out in my head. Yeah, never mind. It wouldn't work. Yeah, you would have to try to basically, trade it in sim and see how it works.
Hey, I'm just trying to set up. I don't see anything special about it, though. It's not anything. I wouldn't take it. I don't know what I am myself.
And neither would I.
Missing the absorption X, but it has nothing special about it. Why? RTY is trying. It just, if this bar closes down, RTY will have set up an SLV. Again, nothing special about that SLV. Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, it's straight up noon. I have things to do this afternoon, so I'm going to head on out, and we will see you in the morning.
All right, Lori. Yeah, I'm gonna take off as well. Um, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll get ourselves all dusted up and ready for tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow will be a nice positive green day for us. See you all tomorrow.